Good evening. Before we begin, I invite you to please stand and sing as the high school orchestra performs America the Beautiful under the direction of Mrs. Kate Mercadante. Thank you, Mrs. Mercadante and the SHS Orchestra. Good evening, school committee, Dr. Sawyer, Mr. Bazidlo, faculty, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2018. My name is Elena Bailey, and I've had the honor of being Shrewsbury High School's Student Council President this past year. Although I'm excited to take the next step in my journey by attending UMass Amherst to major in animal science, I'm also a little sad. I'm going to miss this place, and I bet we all will in one way or another because we have all experienced the amazing community here at Shrewsbury High School. Despite our individual achievements and hardships, every student who is receiving a diploma today has accomplished the same criteria. Every student has earned 105 credits. Every student has passed MCAS. Every student is in good standings with their attendance. And every student has behaved in a way that upholds the core values of Shrewsbury High School. And now, we are all capable of taking on whatever comes next, which is why this new door awaiting all of us not only brings us tears, but also brings us excitement, because class of 2018, we are finally ready. On behalf of the student body, I officially declare the opening of Shrewsbury High School's 140th commencement honoring the class of 2018.
Thank you, Elena. My name is Gary Wren, the president for the class of 2018. And I will be attending UMass Amherst in the fall, majoring in biomedical engineering. To tell you the truth, the kid that walked through the doors to 64 Holden Street nearly 1,363 days ago wasn't nearly the same person who's presenting to you today. For example, that same goofy and wildly energetic kid wouldn't even consider doing the math required to know the exact number of days we've been in high school for the purpose of this welcome address. That very first day, on August 26, 2014, was merely the beginning. Just like everyone else in this class, I've authored a chapter of my life here at SHS. My story has taken exhilarating turns, from the sweet adrenaline rush of making districts and band to the rock-bottom feeling of losing a loved one. From each spirit rally attended to each exam taken, from every thrilling college acceptance to every devastating rejection, Shrewsbury High has been home for the past 4 years. That being said, I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for all of you seated here tonight. I've had the privilege of sharing this school with each and every one of you. And together, we've made it through the highs and lows of growing up. It's these moments of victory and defeat, celebration and disappointment, which have defined these past 4 years and which have made our high school experiences truly remarkable. I don't know exactly what the future holds for me, and quite honestly, I'm okay with that. Because what I do know is that looking back, I'll be able to reminisce upon the memories that I've created within this community. Because after today, no matter how far we'll end up traveling away from this town, Shrewsbury High School lives on within us as the place where we grew to become adults, ready to face the real world. Because no matter where we do end up, I know that it'll be right where we're supposed to be. The foundation of who we are was built within these walls, and that's something to cherish. When we exit through the doors of 64 Holden Street tonight, we'll have a world of opportunities set before us. The beginning of new openings in store comes at a cost of ending something grand, the story we've written here at Shrewsbury High School. Being able to serve as the leader of this diverse, dedicated, and dynamic class for the last 4 years has been of the utmost honor. So, seniors, I ask you to hear one more announcement from your class president while we're all still here together. No matter what life may hold for each and every one of us, remember that life is a beautiful thing. I hope you all always remain kind-hearted and stay true to yourselves. Smile often, laugh plenty, and love one another. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2018.
My name is Jacob Garrido, and along with Elena and Gary, I will be studying finance at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Our superintendent, Dr. Joseph Sawyer, has been an exemplary leader and role model for all students in Shrewsbury. His work across Shrewsbury Public Schools and attendance at our school events reminds us of his dedication and passion for our community. Dr. Sawyer received his undergraduate degree in American history from Princeton University, earned his master's degree in educational administration from the University of Houston, and obtained his doctorate of education from Boston College. Dr. Sawyer joined our school district in 1997, and he has served as assistant principal and principal of Floral Street School and principal of Oak Middle School. Since 2009, Dr. Sawyer has been the superintendent of Shrewsbury Schools and has done an excellent job of pushing our community forward to greater heights every year. The class of 2018 is beyond grateful for your work here at SHS and equally grateful for the 6 snow days you called in this year. It is my pleasure to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Joseph Sawyer.
Thank you, Jacob, for that kind introduction. Members of the school committee, administrators, faculty and staff, parents, families, and guests, and most importantly, members of the class of 2018, it is an honor and a privilege to address you this evening. During your time at SHS, you have collectively achieved many honors in academics, student government, the visual and performing arts, academic competitions, robotics, speech and debate, and athletics. I know one of your most cherished memories is when you experienced an incredible back-to-back triumph. No, I'm not talking about the 2 consecutive boys hockey state championships, but rather something you seniors found even more momentous, back-to-back snow days this past January. This started a run that included a total of 6 cancellations, 3 2-hour delays, and even 1 early dismissal. You're welcome. I actually had intended to include the topic of snow days in these remarks even before some of you referenced the many snow day calls I made during this past epic winter commemoration, and again just now in my introduction. While my job has many facets, the one that people are clearly most fascinated with is the power to cancel school due to bad weather. So what goes into the decision to have a snow day? Ouija board? Flip a coin? Pressure from your clever social media postings the night before a storm? Pleas from my own 3 daughters? Nope, 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 and nope. Of course, sometimes it's an easy call when the roads are impassable and the school parking lots and entrances can't possibly be cleared in time. Other times, it's very tricky because the conditions are questionable. Those situations, like many situations in life, require observation, analysis, and the consideration of principles before making a judgment. In the case of deciding whether to cancel school, I observed the road conditions, sometimes while still in my SHS colonial pajamas. I analyzed the weather forecast, and I considered the most important principle, which is the safety of students and staff. However, my decision does not hinge on whether there is any risk to safety, because there's always some risk, but on whether holding school under those conditions will create too great of a risk. Regardless of what I decide is prudent, I know that some, perhaps many, will disagree with my decision and criticize me for it. I also know that I could very well end up being wrong and making a bad decision. Now, few, if any, of you are going to become superintendents and need to know how to decide whether to call off school due to a bunch of snowflakes. But I think the approach applies more broadly. In fact, in your futures, how you determine the facts, assess risk, make decisions, cope with disagreement and criticism, and acknowledge your own imperfections will determine whether you will affirm or defy the pejorative moniker used to label your generation, namely that you are a bunch of snowflakes. You may have heard that your age group has been described as Generation Snowflake. This stereotype stems from the idea that you can't handle the metaphorical heat of the real world without melting away, that your ability to cope with difficulty or disagreement is fragile, that you cannot handle disappointment and failure, and that you cannot tolerate risk or even discomfort. Some who subscribe to this idea suggest that it's all your parents' fault because they're helicopters who hovered too close, never allowing you to experience independence and develop self-confidence, or because they're snowplows who cleared away any and all obstacles and difficulties in your path, never allowing you to experience failures and consequences. This stereotype sometimes adds a modifier, as in special snowflakes, suggesting that the adult world has told you all along how unique and amazing you are, creating a sense of entitlement where you and your parents believe you should get a trophy just for being you. And woe to the teacher or coach who suggests that success needs to be earned, not bestowed. But I'm not buying into this stereotype. It's not that some of these characteristics and behaviors don't exist, because they surely do, and they can be very problematic. However, they have existed in every generation to some degree. I'm sure certain attributes show up with more or less frequency in certain generations, depending on the times, but suggesting that everyone born between certain years and their parents all act the same is painting with a way too broad brush. Of course, the tendency of one generation to criticize the next as being less motivated, less respectful, not as tough as one's own, has existed throughout human history, and that won't change. I've done it, and you'll likely do it someday as well. So while some may think of you all as snowflakes, here's what I know. I know that you've worked hard. I know that you've overcome obstacles, and I know that you've earned the many accomplishments you've individually and collectively achieved. I also know that you have been kind, accepting, and thoughtful regarding many of the challenges we face in today's society, whether supporting those who've experienced natural disasters, serving the less fortunate, or honoring the victims of school shootings. I appreciate the sensitivity that you've shown. Unfortunately, the term snowflake has also become a way in which some seek to disparage those whom they deem as overly sensitive. While hypersensitivity is counterproductive, don't fall for the falsehood that being sensitive means that you're weak. Being empathetic, honoring differences, and considering others' perspectives are signs of strength. As the late great basketball coach John Wooden once said, there is nothing stronger than gentleness. Don't confuse being tough with being callous, which is a problem every generation in our society is struggling with these days. However, to live your best lives, you will need to develop the right kinds of toughness. You will need to develop the courage to take risks and put yourself in challenging, uncomfortable situations in order to develop your abilities. And you will need to stand up for what is right to develop your character. You will need to cope with disappointment and tragedy. When you do, you'll be even stronger than before. As my grandmother often said, you can't come out steel unless you go through the fire. I am confident that you have the capability to defy the snowflake stereotype. To do so, be aware of the facts, be courageous and prudent when assessing risk, be principled in your decision-making, be open to learning from those who disagree and criticize, be humble in the knowledge that you are imperfect and your mistakes will be your own. Be gentle and kind towards others, be resilient when the inevitable challenges and disappointments come, and be tough when it comes to doing the right thing. If you are these things, it won't matter what anyone labels you, because you will be a person who makes your family, your friends, and yourself proud. On behalf of everyone at the Shrewsbury Public Schools, congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Sawyer. I first met Albert Zhu at Floral Street School in Miss Baker's class when we were both 8 years old. I remember being amazed when he showed me that he can magically make a pack of gum disappear, and I remember seeing Albert get on stage in 8th grade to deliver his winning speech for student council. Albert Zhu is one of the most genuine and hardworking people I've had the pleasure to know. In the fall, he will be attending Carnegie Mellon University. It is my honor to introduce to you this year's Salutatorian, Albert Zhu.
My fellow students, today we are gathered for the final time as a unified class of 2018. To be given the opportunity to address you in our last moments is a great honor. I was told to make this speech relatable and to have this overall happy tone. But for those of you that know me, being optimistic is not one of my strengths. But you're stuck with me, so this is what you get. So I guess I'm supposed to give you some sort of advice. All right, we got all sorts of advice from you need to work hard for good grades, and don't worry, grades aren't that important. From be cool, eat the Tide Pods, to no, don't eat the Tide Pods because they're not good for you. So we get all sorts of advice, and some of it's good and some of it not so much. But sometimes two people give us polar opposite opinions that somehow both make sense. Life is like that sometimes, because life is complicated, and a single piece of advice won't necessarily work for everyone. So what I'm going to do is give you pieces of seemingly contradictory advice. Piece of advice number 1A. Remember, we're all similar. We must look past our superficial differences and realize that we're all human at our core. We all have a basic instinct to survive and seek to be part of a group. We all weep, get scared, feel angry, and a smile is a smile around the world. By seeing our similarities physically, emotionally, and socially, you begin to realize that if you're feeling or wanting something, chances are someone else out there also feels or wants the same thing. So reach out to someone, respect one another, and realize that you're probably not alone. Piece of advice number 1B. Remember, we're all different. Our species is incredibly diverse in terms of race, religion, and nationality. Human history is riddled with conflicts caused by some group failing to leave other cultures and religions be. On a more personal level, you each have those things that make you, you. Your hair color, your fashion, your voice, your talents, your favorite ice cream flavor, whether or not you hear Yanni or Laurel. Embrace those things and be yourself. Our differences make us unique, and our uniqueness makes us human. Piece of advice number 2A. Listen to and help others. Sometimes you get caught up in the moment. Maybe you have a huge crush on someone and are looking at everything through rose-tinted glasses. If everyone says they're not a good person, they probably have a point, and listening to others' perspectives may keep you from grabbing a rose and getting a handful of thorns. If we help each other like that instead of focusing on our own problems, we all end up with better lives. Piece of advice number 2B. Be independent and take care of yourself first. Sure, others may tell you one thing, but it's you who makes the decisions in your life. Your decisions have a much bigger impact on your own life than someone else's, and chances are no one knows your situation, your feelings, or your experiences as well as you do. So don't be afraid to listen to that voice inside your head. Along with being independent is taking care of yourself before others. We learned in health and psychology that American psychologist Abraham Maslow created a hierarchy of needs. On the hierarchy, personal needs, such as the need for social belonging and self-respect, must be fulfilled before going beyond oneself. Think about it like this. Don't help a classmate on a homework assignment before actually doing it yourself. Piece of advice number 3A. Follow your dreams, no matter how big or wild they are. Innovation and progress are driven by the ability to dream big. We wanted to send a man to the moon, and as JFK said, we followed our dreams not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Earlier in the same decade, Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream and became a leading figure in the civil rights movement. So follow your dreams because they give you motivation to get up, something to work for, and one day they may just come true. Piece of advice number 3B. Be objective and don't have unrealistic expectations. Being objective lets us approach problems without being influenced by our biases. By keeping our eyes on the facts and our emotions and biases in check, we avoid being gullible in the face of information made by those who aren't objective. In other words, fake news. You should also evaluate your dreams objectively. Let's take a look at a more extreme example. Once upon a time, there was a boy who wanted to travel across the land, searching far and wide, discovering wondrous new species. To catch them would be his real test, and to train them would be his cause. He said he would not rest until he discovered a new species of mouse that could produce electricity, kind of like a land eel, but it's a mouse, for those of you who get the reference. Newsflash, he's currently unemployed and living in his parents' basement. Okay, so I just made that story up, but don't base your life around something completely unreasonable. As I said, I don't sprout optimism, so be realistic and don't expect everything to work out. After hearing all this advice, you may have heard something that really resonated with you, or you may have heard something that you completely disagree with. But when you're dealing with conflicting advice, it's about finding the balance between yourself and others, between noticing our similarities and loving our differences. between dreaming and being realistic, and between all the other things that we don't have time to talk about tonight. For a lot of you, finding that balance in life is like balancing a chemical equation. You add more of one thing, subtract some of another, but you're still always wrong. Then, finally, after 20 tries, you get something that works. Before realizing that you wrote a chemical formula wrong and you need to start all over again. The optimal balance may come to your life, or you may struggle for years without ever achieving it. But the least we can do is try our best. Class of 2018, before you all go your separate ways, I want to wish you the best of luck to infinity and beyond. Go out and dominate. During my time here, so many memories were made, and it's truly painful to have to say goodbye. I'm going to miss you, and because this is the last chance for me to say so, thank you.
You may think we chose this year's valedictorian simply because she has the longest last name of anyone in the class. But I can assure you that's not the case. I first met Ahana in 8th grade, and I can tell you that she is passionate about everything she does. In the fall, she'll also be attending Carnegie Mellon University, majoring in computer science. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you this year's valedictorian, Ms. Ahana Mukhopadhyay.
Good evening, parents, family, friends, school committee members, Dr. Sawyer, and of course, the class of 2018. Today, I figured I'd start with some words of wisdom from a great American showman. As P.T. Barnum once said, always leave them wanting more. I'd say that school administration has done a pretty good job with that, considering that about now, you all probably want some more comfortable seats, some air conditioning, and for me to just finish my speech already. But like Albert, I've been asked up here to tell you how to life. So that's what I'll do. Or at least try to. Now, judging by my track record, I might not seem to be the most adept at advising you on how to life. In 8th grade, I was deceived into believing that computers were touchscreen. Hashtag not my valedictorian. Am I right? So no, I can't tell you how to do some of the common sense things most of you probably found essential to surviving high school. But I can tell you how to do something you've done 1,000,000 times. Something you have to do today, and something you'll have to do in the future. Saying goodbye. And by that, I don't just mean saying the words, especially not on a day like today. Everything comes to an end, whether it be high school or a Netflix series. This forces us to make the uncomfortable transition between old and new, between familiar and unfamiliar. Goodbye means reminiscing, hugging, complimenting, crying, but most importantly, acknowledging that a chapter of your life has closed. There are 2 parts to goodbyes, the first of which is actually saying goodbye. Most of us had a routine here. We woke up at 6, got on the school bus or in a car, went through the school day, and came home to our parents. We've built a community of friends and not so much friends. A community that, until now, we thought would remain a constant. For better or for worse, college is going to wipe the slate clean. For me, that means I have to teach everybody how to say my last name again. That brings us into part 2 of saying goodbye, saying hello to the future. Well, based on what we've been told, this means going out there and being successful. Standardized measures of success have been handed to us throughout our lives, creating this illusion that if you follow a given linear path and do all the right things, then it's impossible to fail. This idea that linearity, that following all the right steps will ensure success, is an idea that's instilled in us from kindergarten. In his TED Talk, Ken Robinson tells the story of the time when he came across a policy statement that said, "College begins in kindergarten." No, it doesn't. I mean, how do I put this? Kindergarten begins in kindergarten. Although, I understand the confusion, given that these days there are 5-year-olds being interviewed for kindergarten, sitting in front of an unimpressed panel of kindergarten directors, flipping through their resumes like, "You've been here for 5 years and this is it? Wasted the first 6 months breastfeeding, I see." It's not only school, but also the stories of conventionally successful people that drill this idea of linearity into our minds. Take Lloyd Blankfein. He was his high school valedictorian, went to Harvard, and then Harvard Law, and then climbed up Wall Street to become the CEO of Goldman Sachs. The more we hear stories like his, the more we assume that each milestone caused the next. We think being valedictorian caused him to get into Harvard, which caused him to become the CEO of a billion-dollar company. However, if only 30% of CEOs in the top 100 companies attended an elite college, then is our causation mindset really justified? Causation creates for us a nice, neat linear narrative, simplifying a complex world and ignoring the possibilities. It decreases our uncertainty of future events by making us feel like we can predict outcomes. But the reality is, we can't expect our lives to be perfectly aligned. Life is not like getting your driver's license. It's not a clear path with all the milestones from here to success perfectly staked out. Life is like being married to yourself. It constantly needs tending to, or else you'll wake up one day and wonder what you have become. So, what do I propose we do to get out of this trap? Well, first we need to recognize that our lives are not formulaic. This mindset that I need X to get Y, I need to go to college to get a good job, I need a victory royale to feel like I have some meaning in my life, is largely a self-imposed set of guidelines constricting our possible paths. We can look at other people's lives as examples, but we can't imitate them or embrace their paths as our own. After all, you're not him and he's not you. This means get off the beaten path and create your own. For Richard Branson, this meant starting his own airline after missing his flight. For Serena Williams, this meant staging a comeback in tennis even after being unranked because she had the audacity to have a child. The things they've done might seem crazy, but statistically speaking, if you say and do 1,000 ridiculous things, then 1% of them might work out. But you know what? Then you have a ridiculous and amazing life. So, if you remember anything from what I've said today, remember that the 2 steps to saying goodbye are 1, actually saying goodbye, and 2, moving forward. And if you're big on cliches, here's one that'll get you through today. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. If I had $1 for every time I heard that, I'd be rich. But in all seriousness, recognize that each and every one of us is so lucky to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. It's only starting to settle in that our public schooling days are over. 4 years, too many tests, 601 words, and countless memories later, it's finally time to walk out this door. Shrewsbury High School, I must admit, you've left me wanting more. And that scares me, because everything that happened could be the last time that it ever happens. The last time I'm tested on my understanding of the word jingoism, the last time we hear about Mr. O'Connell's summer building a deck during town meeting, the last time we sit in the senior plaza trying to peacefully eat our taco salad while someone runs around chasing bees trying to capture them in plastic bags, the last time we illegally park our cars on the hill, the last time we lose the class cup, the last time we hold our breaths and cross our fingers willing Dr. Sawyer's Twitter to say, "Snow day," and the last time we sit in class with these friends and these teachers. That was a lot of lasts, but we're about to have a bunch of firsts. To get there, we first have to say goodbye. Thank you, class of 2018.
Good evening, class of 2018. My name is Marliette Labachu, and I will be studying business at UMass Amherst in the fall.
And my name is Patrick Gordon, and I will be studying criminal justice at Michigan State University in the fall.
Well, this evening is dedicated to the class of 2018 and all of our accomplishments. It also signifies the accomplishments of faculty and staff throughout the Shrewsbury Public School system. A great teacher can change the trajectory of your life, and it is clear that our school system is made up of a lot of great teachers. More often than not, teachers see more in us than we can see in ourselves. It is their rooted visions that have brought us to be the students and people that we are today.
Looking out into the audience tonight, I see so many members of the class of 2018 with bright futures ahead of themselves. But none of us would be here in this room right now if it was not for the outstanding Shrewsbury School System faculty. Without them by our sides these last 12 years, we would not have been pushed as much to achieve goals and to create dreams that drive our future in the right direction. Back to elementary school and up through 12th grade, these amazing teachers and staff members of the Shrewsbury School System are the reason we get to wear this cap and gown today. Although the impact these teachers have had on our education has been most critical, it is with the combined efforts of administrators, school counselors, nurses, coaches, cafeteria staff, custodians, senior greeters, front office workers, substitutes, and paraprofessionals, who all deserve a lot of the credit for getting us to where we are today. These mentors, role models, and friends are a key ingredient to our success, and there will be a hole in our hearts without them by our sides in the years to come.
We have teachers that go beyond just teaching, custodians that go beyond caretaking, coaches that do more than just coaching, and the list of these good deeds goes on. The point is that the passion for our well-being is clear from their actions. To each and every staff member who has guided us through the obstacles of life and who have encouraged us to stay the course, we appreciate your passion and grit more than you know. In the words of Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Whatever change we wish to make, we have had the honor of having educators like you as our role models, and for that, we are forever grateful.
I strongly believe that as a class, we are more than ready to take on the next chapter in our lives. But before we do so, we wish to give thanks. One day, as the mature adults you hope most of us will become, hopefully, we look forward to the questions from our own children. Who was your favorite teacher? Thanks to all the educators at Parker Road, Beale School, Coolidge, Patton, Floral, Spring Street, Sherwood, Oak, and the high school, we won't be able to pick just one. There are simply too many amazing choices to choose from.
So, on behalf of the class of 2018, we'd like all educators of the Shrewsbury Public School System to rise and be recognized. Because this speech right here...
Yeah, this one's for the ones who got us here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat and Marley. My name is Jess Mixis, and in the fall, I will be attending Assumption College on the exploratory track. The school committee chairperson, Jason Palich, is a 2007 alum of Shrewsbury High School. He went on to receive his bachelor's degree from Northeastern University. In 2012, Mr. Palich became the youngest person to be elected to the Shrewsbury School Committee. Just 2 years later, he was elected vice president of the committee. He now serves as chairperson and continues to support the Shrewsbury Public Schools in countless ways. On behalf of the senior class, we are grateful for his dedicated service on the school committee. It is my honor to welcome Mr. Palich to the stage.
Thank you, Jessica. Good evening, parents, family, friends, community members, distinguished faculty and staff, and members of the Shrewsbury Public Schools graduating class of 2018. On behalf of my colleagues on the school committee, Vice Chair Erin Canzano, Secretary Sandra Fritz, and members Dale McGee and John Wensky, it is my great honor to extend our congratulations to our graduates. To the parents and family members here tonight, I know this must be a moment of great pride, if not also a little bittersweet, as these outstanding young people complete one phase of their lives and move on towards another. To the faculty and staff, thank you for your hard work over the years in preparing our students so hard for this next chapter that they are so well prepared to face. To the entire Shrewsbury community, thank you for providing the resources utilized to endow these students with a world-class education. And to the graduates of the class of 2018, congratulations. You have not only achieved a personal milestone, but you have done a great deal to distinguish our entire community. Shrewsbury Public Schools has asked a lot of you over the past 12 years, actually longer from most, and as the last person you'll ever have to listen to while you're still a high school student, I have just one final ask of you on behalf of Shrewsbury Public Schools. We need you to go out and save the world. I won't specify in what way we need you to do that, because for each of you, that's a different question. We need you each to use your unique skills, talents, and abilities to impact those areas you personally are passionate about. And I trust the sum total of your contributions will touch many lives for the better. You are already armed with many of the skills you will need to do this. Through your education in Shrewsbury, you've been prepared to think critically, examine different sources of information, work collaboratively, communicate effectively, support your positions with evidence, set goals, identify obstacles, and develop strategies to overcome them. Shrewsbury schools have strived to teach you about perseverance, overcoming adversity, the importance of sticking with it, and in point of fact, some of you have overcome significant personal obstacles to be here this evening. Though this is not close to the end of your educational journey, that too is something that Shrewsbury Schools has drilled into you from the beginning. The need to be lifelong learners, which I know you will. We need you to apply that education to not only your own endeavors, but hopefully to improving the circumstances of those around you. That sense of responsibility to give back is deeply ingrained in this class of 2018. You who have given over 16,000 hours of service to our community and raised thousands upon thousands of dollars for worthy charitable causes of all stripes. You've received and will continue to receive your fill of advice, as was discussed earlier, much of it good. Some things are cliched for a reason. I'm going to assume, however, based on what I already know about you, that you're already planning to reach for the stars, follow your dreams, be true to yourself, and so forth. So what can I add to that you haven't already heard? I'm only a little bit more than a decade removed from the seats you're sitting in now, and I mean that literally, those chairs. I graduated SHS in this room. And so it does feel a little pretentious to pretend that anything I might have to say to you is anything tantamount to wisdom. But I'll offer two brief suggestions, nonetheless, that I think will serve well anyone who wishes to make change. The first is to be a skeptic, but never a cynic. The two are often conflated, but a skeptic seeks information and asks questions. A cynic rejects further information and asks no questions, except rhetorical ones. If you're going to improve the world, ours or yours, you're going to have the optimism to believe that that change is possible. Tearing things down, telling someone they can't is easy. Building things, making things happen is hard, but the only way to make a difference. And the second is simply to favor action over talk. There is a Latin proverb that dates to the last century BC, fortune favors the bold. In other words, history smiles on people who take action. It's not a statement about fortune as money, but actually a fairly obvious observation that luck, success, fortune, more often comes to those who undertake a daunting task. It's true not because those who take action are lucky, but because most good things come from difficult, trying efforts. Speaking out is a term we hear often, and indeed, speaking out against injustices large and small is commendable. But speaking out is step one, never the whole process. It's a means to an end. Don't confuse a post on social media with activism. It's the work, the organizing, the researching, the preparation, the execution that make change. Words have been a powerful starting point to many a revolution, but they're rarely the end. But then again, this is not a class that needs to be told about getting the job done. I look at what you've accomplished already. I've been fortunate to see and hear about just a small fraction of the things you've achieved so far, and the fact is that I have no doubt you will change the world for the better. I have no doubt that you will lead or take part in teams that make tremendous scientific and technological breakthroughs, or contribute to our culture and art in a way that moves people, or fight injustices, or mold young minds. But someday, you might have those doubts. I just want you to know, in those low moments that will inevitably come, that your Shrewsbury Public Schools, whether you're near us or very far away, still thinks you can do it, and will still be proud to say that you're a product of our community. We've seen what you're capable of, and it truly is for you that the sky's the limit. To the Shrewsbury Public Schools Class of 2018, the entire Shrewsbury community wishes you success, we wish you happiness, and we are ever optimistic that each of you, in your own way, will make the world what you know it can be. Congratulations, and let's get your show on the road.
Thank you, Mr. Palich. Our high school principal, Mr. Bazidlo, graduated from Bridgewater State University, going on to earn his master's degree in educational administration at Providence College. As principal over the past 7 years, Mr. Bazidlo has been the leader in creating an open and inclusive school environment that is Shrewsbury High School. He leads our school with passion, unwavering dedication, and a contagious smile. It is my honor to introduce to you the principal of Shrewsbury High School, Mr. Todd Bazidlo.
Good evening. Tonight our community assembles to honor the hard work, commitment, achievement, and enthusiasm of the young men and women of the class of 2018. This graduation ceremony also serves as an opportunity for family and friends to celebrate and share in the joy of the accomplishment of our students. This is also a time where students end their formal public schooling, and we close another chapter in our school's storied history. Tonight, we also celebrate our school's 140th graduation ceremony. Back in 1878, 6 diplomas were awarded. Tonight, 432 students have earned their diploma. Shrewsbury High School, much like our community, has continued to grow and evolve. For me, like many of you out there, tonight is bittersweet. There is excitement surrounding all the accomplishments of this class, yet a sadness to see such talented, personable young people leave our beloved school. It's been a pleasure and honor for me to serve as a principal of this remarkable community of learning. I consider myself to be unbelievably blessed to be surrounded by an absolutely fantastic group of students who are destined to accomplish great things. I'm further thankful to be able to come to a place that I love and be able to work with an outstanding staff to help shape the future leaders of tomorrow. So, therefore, Dr. Sawyer, Mr. Palich, members of the school committee, parents, teachers, staff, guests, and members of the Shrewsbury community, it is my duty and privilege on this 31st day of May 2018 to certify that all of these young men and women gathered here today have successfully completed the Shrewsbury High School course of studies and have successfully completed all requirements established by the State Board of Education and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and should hereby be awarded their Shrewsbury High School diploma so they may assume their role as active, caring, capable contributors to the world in which we live. Congratulations, 2018. I wish you all the best.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Lizotte, and at this time, the assistant principals, Mrs. Monopoly, Mr. Nevada, Mr. O'Connell, and I have the honor of calling the names of the graduates as we begin conferring diplomas to the class of 2018. Gary Huayu Ren. Jacob Marcus Garrido. Safa Fahim Zakaria. Charles Sun Kang. Jessica Diane Mixis. Elena Grace Bailey. Ahana Mukhopadhyay. Albert Yiming Zhu. Marley Marie Atlabachu. Patrick James Gordon. Shahinaz Abdahadi. Sarah Abdulwahed. Mateos Mela Araju Abru. Ryan Connor Ackerman. Jonathan J. Souza Adelino. Dua Ahmed. Isa Ahmed. Yamar Akurik. Meredith Renee Andrews. Stephen David Arena. Catherine Elizabeth Armour. Bjarki Arnarsson. Lauren Julia Arpino. Pakiza Ashak. Anna Lee Bedstubner. Adam Jihad Banat. John Gabriel Barrett. Natalie Regatta Barroso. Jillian Kate Berry. Nathan James Batchelder. Andrew James Beaton. Eli Harrison Bieberman. Caitlin Joe Beckett. Leah Sky Bell. Nicole Casey Bergeron. Coleman Cahill Barabee. Luan Carlos Bessa. Samantha Martin Bitar. Elizabeth Kate Bonham. Angel Bonilla. Grace Louise Bordage. Jacob Morris Bornstein. Alana Emily Bortman. Colby James Boris. Owen Michael Buffard. Catherine Aline Bowers. Shauna Elizabeth Brady. Emily Christine Brand. Charles Nathaniel Gray. Michaela Kathleen Breen. Riley Marissa Brenner. Beatrice Bravalleri de Oliveira. Taylor Marie Brown. Samuel Asa Brownstein. Amber Michelle Brushway. Ryan Michael Buckley. Alec James Budio. Diana Emma Bulger. David Alexander Bunsick. Sean McGuire Burns. Andrew Robert Busick. Christopher James Campbell. Megan Elizabeth Campbell. Lindsay Elise Canavan. Madeline Audrey Canavan. Diara Rachel Canton. Mary Catherine Canzano. Christina Fernanda Raposo Cardoso. Victoria Suave Cardoso. Brielle Maria Corelli. Brandon David Carey. Brina Elizabeth Carey. Wayne Thomas Carey. Murphy Elizabeth Karlstrom. Austin Edward Carpenter. Christian Paul Cahosa. McKenna May Carroll. Melissa Cassia de Souza Nascimento. Gina Frixnet Castro Cubijos. Isabella Cuna Cateo. Christopher Joseph Kavanaugh. Catherine Elizabeth Colley. Braden Alexander Chan. Mustafa Mohammed Chahada. Sophie Chen. Nicholas S. Chuck. Lily Chi. Lydia Cho. Miranda Christina Cedric. Chloe Elizabeth Sincata. Mamadou Salif Cisse. Maggie Manos Clark. Brianna Marie Clark. Rosalind Eve Coughlin. Julia Catherine Collins. Megan Teresa Connery. Erin Mary Considine. Abigail Grace Cosette. Catherine Mary Caveni. Dawson Patrick Crouch. Jack Bailey Crowell. Erica Lynn Crowley. Destiny Gabriella Crumble. Thomas Joseph Q. Jennifer Christine D'Alessandro. Alifa Idris Dahoud. Liam Thomas Daigle. Emily Lee Daly. Siddhant Sabod Damle. Allison Ann Danielson. Enrique DeBoni. Letitia Keller de Oliveira.
Dylan Edward Dagon. Rachel Ann DeHamer. Ryan William Dimack. Serena Desai. Max Robert Deshay. Logan Justin Desolitz. Alexander John Desio. Ashley Taylor Desmaris. Carly Teixeira D'Souza. Douglas Candido Ribeiro Diaz. Gina Rose DeGiacomo. Erin Mary Donovan. Grace Madeline Doobie. Jasmine Lily Dirk. Erin Margaret Duffy. Mark Philip Dumay. Caitlin Reese Durkin. Drew Shayla Michaela Denzelowitz. Margaret Elizabeth Eason. Nicholas Aristotle Ellis. Shrinakitha Amani. Anna Louisa Elosher Scalzer. Mohammed Faris. Colleen Marie Farrell. Julianne Rose Fay. Caitlin Rose Fiore. Isaac Anthony Fleming. Victoria Ann Flint. Sophia Oreen Fleonis. Grace Margaret Foley. Michael Joseph Fornell. Kevin Nicholas Freud. Rachel Nicole Furbish. Joshua Allen Govin. Giselle Gentili. Benjamin Caricchio George. Sophie Lillian Jeremiah. Nolan Michael Jerica. Holly Marie Gibbons. Gabriella Isabel Gill. John William Godwin. Abigail Rachel Goldberg. Cassandra Christina Goodness. Leah Gopal. Anusha Gopinath. Adam Joel Gorham. Daria Alexvania Gorianova. Richard James Goyne III. Ashley Elizabeth Gray. Rachel Cecile Green. Julia Francis Green. Taylor Allison Green. Julia Rose Grosser. Julia Lynn Guidi. Abigail Zoe Gayan. Asta Gupta. Sandesh Gurung. Suraj Gurung. Ryan Lee Hagee. Joshua Harrison Hall. John Joseph Hannaford. Madison Rose Hansen. Nabiha Fatima Hack. Jonathan Michael Harrington. Colin Matthew Hay. Alexander Nicholas Miguel Hayden. Anthony Thomas Hayden. Kevin Charles Hayes. Ethan Yen He. Amelia Joan Hebert. Adam Ali Hitchum. Emily Jean Hickey. Elizabeth Elaine Height. Ryan Lee Hitchcock. Troy Anthony Nilica. Alexandria Nancy Hogan. Tegan Kane Holmes. Tyler Wilson Hopping. Karen Lee Ho. Matthew Joseph Hull. Cameron Lee Husson. Andrew John Hyland. Michaela Maria Ionetti. Zachary Kent Jablonski. Anaya Jane. Yanis Adrian Jaluli. Felicia Rose Jean-Louis. Wilson Ross Jenkins. Noah Philip Jouer. Snigdha Reddy Kaluther. Ava Rose Kalinowski. Abhinav Kareddy. David Matthew Kassoff. Harshil Kaul. Andrew Philip Kay. Caitlin Mary Keene. Julia Ann Keenan. Margaret Rose Keene. Colleen Ann Kelly. Kylian Marie Kelly.
Michaela Marie Kelly. Jonathan Ralph Kimball. Danielle Louise King. Lauren Alyssa King. Sarah Elizabeth King. Cody Allen Krikorian. Ria Nikitha Krishnan. Aditya Kumar. Nicole Kwitowski. Grace Zahawa Larrabee. Alexandra Lekas. Jason Eric Lemoyne. Craig Matthew Libby. Evelyn Yang Liu. Anna Leiden Lazat. Samantha Lynn Youngren. Alexis Rose Lacanto. Adriana Maria Terra Lorgis. Claire Christine Lowe. Danielle Rose Lynch. Owen Patrick Lyons. Samuel Henry Mack. Cayo Maciel de Rocha Campos. Caitlin Ann Madden. Molly Magner. Emily Rose Mahoney. Alexander Joseph Majorano. Jaden Maldonado. Andrew Charles Martin. Anthony Julian Maruca. Nicholas William Maciello. Lauren Marie Mastrogiacomo. Aaron Bailey Matozel. Daniel Richard May. Lindsay Thea McCarthy. Maya Elizabeth McCullum. Matthew Christopher McGlory. Aaron Nancy McKinley. Niall Robert McAnally. Lillian Ann McManus. Maura Patrice McNamara. Kara Ann McSweeney. Sabine Marie Mendy. Rushik Maneni. Ryan Raymond Miller. Megan Jane Milligan. Colleen Margaret Mills. Madison Jane Mino. Christine Mary Minnick. Leah Elise Missel. Chassia Malaver Molina. Cameron Graham Morris. Mahawesh Mujib. Ava Francesca Monroe. John Victor Bastos Murta. Caitlin Rose Muzzy. Nalanjana Ashok Nambiar. Cole Michael Nelson. Taina Paiva Delima Neves. Jack Yen Nguyen. Jesselyn Trin Nguyen. Lauren Kathleen O'Brien. Kristen Marie O'Connor. Mark Thomas O'Connor. Eric Avery O'Donnell. Molly Elizabeth O'Neill. Julia DiDonato O'Sullivan. Evthuxia Odorsky. Catherine Giselle Ola. Noah Matthew Oliva. John Patrick Olivier. Jonathan Stephen Owen. Josephine J. Park. Joshua Michael Parker. Drew Kanubai Patel. Kajul P. Patel. Shreyas Vinod Patel. Kylie Alicia Patnode Huston. Corey Lewis Patwari. Megan Elizabeth Pedjo. Erica Amanda Pellegrino. Vincent Thomas Pellegrino. Nicholas Michael Perrin. Connell Feely Persicino. Andrew Mariano Perugini. Victoria Ashley Pescaro. Nathaniel Allen Petrangelo. Sarah Jane Feifel. Christina Pham. Stephen Pham. Ashley Elizabeth Faneff. Alexandra Pisano Stratton. Maria Victoria C. Pimenta. Julia Grace Pitterino. Helton Julian Poyon. Aditya Ravindra Pathanabaya. Praneeth Prathi. Dasani Christopher Prideaux. Kyle Donald Pryor. Rachel Emily Pritchard. Tal Puhav. Alexander Mark Purple. Gabriel Wilson Teixeira Queiroz. Anthony James Quinlivan. Liam Mulcrone Quinlivan. Ariba Rahman.
Akshay Ram. Nicole Ramirez. Anvi Ranjan. Reba Raviraj. Kate Elizabeth Ruffolo. Elise Marie Regalado. Nicholas Queiroz Ribeiro. Caitlin Marie Riedel. Misbah Fazal Randani. Timothy James Rio. Dominic Albert Ritaco. Carlos Emmanuel Rivera Barrero. Sophia Caroline Rocco. Ramsey Rafiq Ruabia. Ian Thomas Rudnick. Patrick Robert Ryan. Anthony K. Sade. Ira Sani. Mohammed Abdul Salah. Kaylee Vieno Salmu. Benjamin Michael Snyder. Cassandra Marie Schofield. Ryan Benjamin Schwab. Timothy Andrew Schwab. David Maximilian Schwartz. Sarah Jacqueline Schwartz. Nandini Sitharaman. Christopher Conrad Samanki. Darius Sarabrova. Atmaja Shah. Patrick Michael Shaughnessy. Amanda Kathleen Shea. Ryan Elise Shea. Nita Eunice Sheikh. Sophie Michaela Severio. Arlette Gomes Simoes. David Russell Simon. Cara Ashley Simpson. Matt Eduardo Sequeira. Matthew Thomas Slaughter. Riley David Smith. Taylor Carney Smith. Callie Snyder. Simran Kaur Soin. Jan Henrik Sokolowski. Michael James Soldo. Kyle Robert Spagnuolo. Nicholas Kenneth Spizzato. William Keeley Stavich. Ryan David Story. Zitong Su. Emma Rose Sullivan. John Peter Sweeney. Sruthi Takilapati. Srujana Manga Tamasetti. Tanvi Mukan Tana. Nathan Minty Tao. Courtney Marie Taylor. Elena Grace Temple. Jack Watts Tepper. Anjali Toli. Lacey Ann Tomiolo. Freddie Sebastian Torres. Joseph Fee Tran. Gabrielle Claire Troisi. Lauren Blake Troisi. Jessica Adelaide Turco. Michael Reese Turner. Serena Wong. Vishapat Upadasingh. Suchir Subraya Ural. Tanmai Vadapati. Daniel Marco Vargas. Emma Elizabeth Veal. Sahil Vias. Matthew Richard Wackel. Diana Allison Wall. Emily Ann Wallace. Shayla Rose Walsh. Callie Malone Weefer. Michaela Shea Weefer. Jaden Hong Wei. Jamie Hong Wei. Lauren Elizabeth Wells. Mihal Edmund Wire. Daniel Norman Willamy. Madeline Charlotte Winder. Shuhong Wu. Raina Yagmore. Timothy Joseph Young. Christina Yuen. Lauren Yuen. Alexa Ann Zarozny. Victoria Christine Zawada. Yu Chen Zhang. Olivia Rose Zona. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2018.
My name is Safa Zakaria. I'm the secretary of the class, and I will be attending Stony Brook University in the fall, majoring in biology. As we go our separate ways, it's important to remember how great of an impact we've made on one another. Our high school experience wouldn't be what it was without the friends, teachers, and families supporting us throughout the years. But we also wouldn't be here today without the hard work we did ourselves. Before we journey into a new chapter of our lives, take a moment to wish good luck to the people next to you. Good luck, Elena. Good luck, Gary. Though this seems like the end, the class of 2018 will always be united by our ambitions for success. Of course, it wouldn't be a Safa speech if I didn't urge you to do a couple of things. Recognize the power of your voice. Register to vote. Volunteer your time to a greater cause. And realize that even though we can make an impact individually, we can reach greater heights together. So, class of 2018, congratulations on officially graduating high school. As tonight's ceremony closes, we respectfully ask that our guests allow the graduates to exit the field house before leaving.